through KUCCPS because you are already placed. But a point to note is that if a student has been placed by KUCCPS to a TVET or a university, the other options that you have to apply are KMTC, TTC, Open University of Kenya, or Kenya School of Law. Because those ones, there is no funding. That's why you can apply twice. Yeah. Then you must have met all the minimum requirements to apply for degree, diploma, certificate, and artisan. So currently, if you have a C+ and above, you qualify for a degree program. You can note that down, the high school students. If you have a C+ and above, you qualify for a degree program. If you have a C-, C plain and above, you qualify for a diploma program. Then if you have a D plain, D+ and above, you qualify for craft certificate. D plain, D+ and above, you qualify for craft certificate. Then lastly, D- and below. Below ni E. I was told you don't say E, you just say D- and below. So that one you qualify for artisan. Yeah, so that is to mean, regardless of the grade you'll score, the government is there. Through KUCCPS, you'll get placement and you will receive funding. You'll achieve your career goals with your certificate and you'll be able to earn that living that you always wanted. So don't sit at home, don't despair if you don't get that grade you didn't anticipate. Apply through KUCCPS and achieve your career dreams. Then I would like to mention this. Those of us who are planning to go to the university, that is our dream. Please, as you're working hard, in as much as you're saying C+ is the minimum grade, don't focus on that C+. Yeah, don't focus on that C+. You'll get that C+. You'll try to get a program. You will get it. But you'll try to look for an institution where you'll qualify for that particular program. You will not get. It's becoming difficult if you have a C+. Just ensure that you work hard. Don't aim at that C+. Try to work hard so that you can get a good grade that will give you that degree program that you want. If you get a C+, you may end up going to a TVET because that is where you'll get a good course that is making sense to you. Tumelewana? Yeah. So then lastly, candidates of the year preceding application are given priority during placement. So what we mean here is this, especially for students who score C plain and below. Students who sat for their KCSE from the year 2000, they are eligible to apply for TVET courses. But when we are doing placement, priority is given to the most recent KCSE cohort. So once you have received your results, ensure that you apply so that when you are doing placement, you get priority in the process. That's our eligibility for students. Now, we have an application process. Students get to apply, and it is in various stages. Nowadays, we have introduced stage-based application where we apply in different phases. So we start with the KMTC, then TVET, then lastly degree and TTC. Your results, we usually open the portal for first application and students are given a chance to apply, tell us where they want to go and the courses they want to be placed to. Of importance at this stage, as a student, you need to compare your performance and your upcoming interests. Merge them and get to know which course you'd want to take and in which institution. During application, you pay 1,500 shillings. And one thing to note is that when you're making this payment, ensure that you pay with your phone or your parents or dad. Ikienda sana, labda ya mwalimu. Don't allow any other person to. Either your KCPE index number or birth certificate number. Again, there, do not allow anyone to have your login credentials. I understand that most of the time we always end up to the cybers to make applications. Please, in as much as they are the ones who will be logging into the portal to apply, do not allow them to have your credentials somewhere. Just log in. Once you're done with the application, you log out. Do not allow them to write them somewhere. Cyber people can be very crazy at times. Once someone has your login credentials, they have your payment, they can decide to manipulate your application. And there is nothing, some of our students will go to the cybers, then they tell the cyber person, this is the amount, these are my login credentials, apply for me, whichever course that I qualify. So umeenda huko umemwambia unataka education arts. So yeye akiangalia akiona how merit in most of the universities, the cyber person will apply for you Bachelor of Arts. Yeye anajua amekuapply education, but at the end of the day you will not be a teacher, courtesy of that cyber person. So ensure that you take charge of your application. Now in this application, we said for degree you have 6 choices, and then for the diploma, certificate and artisan you have 2 choices. I'll start with the degree. When you're making these applications, to ensure that you have a successful placement, choose a university where you are having at least 2 points higher than the cutoff points indicated on that portal. You will notice that when you'll be making your application, the cutoff points for that current cohort that is applying will not be on the portal. So those students use the previous year's cutoff points to gauge whether they can qualify for certain universities or not. So if you realize that you want to apply, cluster weights may be there around 39, 40. There is a university that is having a cutoff point of maybe 42 or 41 in the previous years. Please do not apply to that university because you will not get it. Hapo ndo huwa unasikia kuna wanafunzi alipata B+ na mwingine alipata A-. They both applied for nursing. Huyu wa B+ akapata na wa A- hakupata because of the choice of universities. Huyu wa B+ aliangalia through it clearly and realized that with this B+, I can only merit at KAFU. Now we were A- because it's an A, the student assumed that I qualify for all the universities. So I can apply UON, KU, JKUAT, Maseno, and all of that. Then an miss. So you'll hear KUPS is very unfair. But it is because the student was not so keen enough to understand her cluster weights or his cluster weights and compare them to the cutoff points of the previous years. For your cluster weights, compare them to the cutoff points. At any given point, ukiona tu vizuri, your cluster weights are below the cutoff points indicated on the portal, please do not apply for it. The system will allow you to apply because those are not your cutoff points, they are for previous years. But that does not mean that you will merit in that particular university. When it comes to the diploma, certificate and artisan, at least there you have a leeway. As long as you have met all the minimum subject requirements to apply for that particular course, then you can choose whichever institution that you want, but you rank them in the order of your priority. So then after first application, we do placement, and unfortunately, there are students who usually miss placement because they didn't merit. We call them for what is known as subsequent revisions, where students are expected to make other applications for different choices because they didn't get the first ones they had applied. So during subsequent revisions, it's not a very interesting process because most of the time you'll find A- and B+ students are the ones who end up in this stage. And most of the courses that would easily attract an A- or a B+ student during subsequent revision, the courses are usually not on the portal because they have already been filled up during first application. So these students will end up missing out on a course they really wanted because during first application they had a an ego when it comes to choice of universities. Now, during subsequent revision, students who had missed placement because they didn't merit, at this point they don't pay. But those who had not applied completely, at this point they pay. So then we do placement, and after we have done placement, unfortunately, there are those students who usually still miss out on placement. After that, we don't we don't open the portal again for application. So what we do, we will either place you or fail to place you based on what you told us. So during application, there is a stage where the system asks the student, would you want to be placed in a different program in case you don't merit in the ones you have applied? So if you say yes, and after first application and subsequent revisions you have missed placement, we will give you some placement that you qualify in the unfilled universities, then and also colleges. Then if you said no, you don't want to be placed in any other program in case you don't merit, then at that point we will not place you. That is why you may have realized there are some students who made applications. There are those who are placed to courses and institutions they applied for, and there are those who are placed to courses and institutions they didn't apply for because they told us, if I don't merit, place me to a different program. Then there are those you realize were not placed completely, yet they applied because they told us, don't place me anywhere in case I don't merit. So that is what happens during application and placement. So after subsequent revisions, we release results and we tell students where they have been placed. In the case that you are not content in the placement you have received, we usually open the portal for what is known as transfer. Like currently, the portal is open for transfers, where students are transferring from one institution, that is university or TVET, to different TVETs. So those of us who are here and have already been placed, maybe you have been placed to Kabete and you realize that it is very far, it will be very costly for you, you can decide to make a transfer application to Bungoma North or whichever that you want. So students make transfers and you can even change your course in the process. Transfers, students are charged 1,000 shillings. So that is also our another application process. And by the way, just to note, transfers are currently on. The deadline